Nice pad.
Richard.
You haven't changed at all, Bruce.
You might be surprised.
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation.
Today's podcast we're covering Batman Soul of the Dragon. Now that's a title.
Yep. Back when the DC Universe streaming service was still around. This was made to be one of its first and last exclusive movies to the server, and it's taking place in a reimagined Gotham where Batman reunites with his old martial arts classmates to save the world from a cult that wants to unleash an ancient evil on the world for immortality for the umpteenth time.
Right? And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, notification release on future podcasts and little pause videos.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us for this different movie.
Yes.
From DC.
Now, we actually had never seen this movie up until recently because at the time this was out, this is when people were starting to have their own separate services for streaming that were not Netflix. And we did not get DC Universe because we just didn't feel like it was worth for us getting. And sure enough, even though it went out of business, we made the right decision. So this movie was not only available to even get on DVD for the longest time, you can only see it online. So that's where people watched it on other sites. So we were finally able to watch it eventually, and it was placed on a different server where they had movies for free. And Mom had been wanting to see it for a long time.
Just because of the title.
Yeah. Years later, finally got to see it.
Very different than I imagined. It's the 42nd film of the DC Universe animated movies, directed by Sam Liu and executive produced by Bruce Timm.
Yay!
And an all-star cast. And it was actually dedicated to comic book writer Dennis O'Neil, who died on June 11, 2020 at the age of 81.
And it looks like whoever made this, or the person who came up with the idea, really loved the old Bruce Lee martial arts movies, because all the characters in here that Batman teams up with look like they're from different Bruce Lee movies and Enter the Dragon movies. So
Definitely.
It was definitely an homage to those films.
Now it runs only 83 minutes, and believe it or not, one of the production companies is Studio Mir.
Wow, that explains why the animation looks a little different, and they look like they're from Avatar: Legend of Korra.
Right, and as you mentioned, it was an all-star cast. It was a different person doing Bruce Wayne who we're not familiar with. If you know who he is, let us know in the comments below. David Guntoli. Not familiar with him at all. Mark Dacascos is Richard Dragon, and he's a famous martial artist. Kelly Hu, of course. Lady Shiva, Michael J. White, Spawn,
Right.
as Ben Turner, Bronze Tiger, Josh Keaton,
Yes.
as a bad guy, Jeffrey Burr.
Oh man, that.
That was a surprise. Robin Atkin Downs as Schlangenfaust. Grey Griffin as Lady Eve. She also was the voice of a prostitute and a sacrificial boy. Patrick Stace is Sir Edmund Dorrance, King Snake.
Hey.
Eric Bauza as Axe Gang Leader. Eric
Like,
Luttrell
yeah, okay.
as Silver St. Cloud. Now these names, I'm sorry, they are as funny as they sound, because this literally is taking place in, I guess, an AU 70s universe.
Yes. And that's why you don't see any of the regular Batman characters in here, nor his rogues. It's just pretty much Batman by himself, and he's turns with Richard Dragon, not Richard Grayson, which I guess was a pun on that. When you think about it, it was like instead of meeting him, he met this guy. It was like a eerily similar backstory, and you can tell Dragon is clearly supposed to be this version of Bruce Lee.
Right. And I think it was a nice attempt to produce something different. It was a good concept, a good idea. It failed in many ways.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But I like when a studio tries to do something different and does it with quality and taste.
Yeah.
It wasn't poorly done. I think it just wasn't completely thought out. There were some fun moments.
Yes.
And for
Great
people
action.
who love kung fu movies, I would have to say this definitely probably is a movie they would absolutely love. It has that feel.
Right.
It has that vibe. And as Rascal mentioned, not just Bruce Lee, but there are other homages to kung fu greats as well. So I think that Kung Fu lovers will absolutely love this movie.
Right. And two things that really stood out to me. The first thing was that Batman wasn't really Batman for majority of the film. I mean, I know it's called Batman Soul the Dragon, but that was clearly because you knew Bruce Wayne was in it. It was really Bruce Wayne for majority of the film. He didn't really become Batman until it got too near the end, and they clearly know his secret identity. It's not a shock when he puts on the cowl and Batman's only with them. They all are pretty much know his secret identity. And it's a little weird. It's more, as you said, of a martial arts movie than a superhero movie. Not saying you can't combine the two and make a movie, but I think they kind of missed out the opportunity to really go head first into combining those two genres. How would you make a kung fu superhero movie? Having him only be Batman near the end. Right. Right, kinda. Having him be Batman near the end and he doesn't do much until the last battle felt like they kind of missed out on having a lot of the action featuring him in there to feel like it deserves Batman in the title.
True. Now, there are some shout outs to other elements in the franchise. Kelly Hughes, we mentioned, was Lady Shiva, and she previously voiced this character in the video game Batman Arkham Origins. Then we have Michael J. White, Spawn!
Yeah.
Again, is Ben Turner, Bronze Tiger, and he portrayed this character on the live-action Arrow series.
Yes.
CW.
Interesting enough.
And the biggest shock for us was Josh Keaton again.
As a bad guy.
Villain, he was a bad guy. It's like, no, not Josh Keaton,
right.
no.
And it was even funnier about that is that you got him being this ruthless, crazy cult leader, which they've kind of used a lot now, and he's gonna use the sacrifice of some kids, and it's like, yeah, it's got real dark towards the end. And what got me the most is like they had little bits of humor in it to lighten some things up before action happens. There's one part in here when they get to them meeting the final boss, and they want to unleash this big evil, and nothing really scares this guy. Like, none of the masters, not the monster he wants to unleash, not possible evil spirits. All this stuff happening, he thinks is for the best cause of immortality and all that, and he thinks he's doing the right thing. Nothing scares him. Batman shows up in front of him, and he's trembling at the sight of him. He can't speak. He's scared crapless. He drops the kid. He doesn't even want to get near him. Nothing scared him. Not the underworld monster and demon. Batman's terrified him. And it was the funniest thing in here.
And true to Batman, ladies, it absolutely works.
I think that's still that's probably my favorite thing in this whole movie. This guy, not scared of demons, done bad night. Batman terrifies him to speechless.
Now, one of our extra favorites we failed to mention was James Hong as Sensei.
Yes, that was a nice one to hear too.
Mr. Ping was in
Yes.
there. And I know he has done many more voices and many more characters than Mr. Ping, but Mr. Ping is my favorite.
Yes.
So every time we hear him, yes, that's what I say. But if you've never seen this movie, we definitely recommend it. Again, it's really different. It's got pluses. The animation definitely was reminiscent of what could be seen as an older style. And again, shout out to Kung Fu Movies, something very different for DC. An all-star voice cast, heroes playing villains, and shout outs to other franchises. And the writing was pretty good too.
Yeah.
And the ending is definitely, it's not a surprise ending, but the ending was done very well.
Yeah.
The ending, probably the last 15 minutes, are the best part of the movie altogether in terms of action and the story unfolding and an ending that I won't say you were surprised, but you didn't think they would go that far.
Right.
And they did. So we definitely recommend, if you haven't seen Batman Soul of the Dragon, you absolutely positively should check it out.
Yes, definitely.
Now, if you've already seen it, let us know what you think in the comments below. Did you see it originally in 2021 when it was released? Or did you see it later like we did? Let us know if you haven't. As Rascal says, see if you can find it for free somewhere on YouTube. I don't know if it's available now for sale on Amazon or not, but you can check that out and see if you can find it there.
Right.
And who knows, at some point this may end up at Tree.
Yeah,
Or some
might
other
be.
dollar store. So keep an eye out and see if you can find it. The cover will throw you off because it's actually more of a live action looking cover. It doesn't look like an animated cover at all.
Yeah.
So you might see it and be thrown off thinking it's a live action movie, but it's 100% animated.
Right. And if y'all already subscribe for updates, we can do his favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for always joining us and supporting us. We appreciate you so much. If you want us to check out your channel, let us know in the comments below.
Yes. Thank you so much for watching Mask Entertainment.
And Mom Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.